I never imagined a night in my new home would turn into something out of the darkest pages of a novel. The house itself was nothing unusual. A modest, one-story dwelling with 3 bedrooms, a single garage, and 1.5 bathrooms tucked off a laundry room. I toured it in late afternoon sunlight, admiring its neat lawn and freshly painted walls, convinced I'd found the perfect quiet retreat from the city's ceaseless clamor. But that first evening, as I lay in bed poring over a horror book, I discovered the true meaning of quiet. The room was bathed in the soft glow of a small lamp perched on my nightstand. Beyond the drawn curtains, a breeze stirred the American flag atop the front porch, a detail I'd found oddly comforting. I'd read a few paragraphs when a flicker of movement at the edge of my vision froze me in place. There, behind the heavy drapes, a shadow drifted into view, subtle at first, like a wisp of smoke. Then it pulsed across the window. Up, left, down, right, in a loop that seemed meant to hypnotize. My breath caught. At first, I scolded myself. "It's just the flag, idiot," I muttered under my breath. But this shape moved with purpose. As it cycled, it shifted form, the curves and angles in constant flux, until it suddenly snapped into the precise silhouette of a dragon's head, complete with serrated jaws and a spiked crest. A primal terror lanced through me. I lowered my book slowly, every muscle screaming to bolt. The curtain shivered as if something on the other side exhaled, and a cold dread seeped into my bones. I didn't know how long I watched that shadow. Seconds stretched into lifetimes. The thing pressed against the glass as though it wanted to push through. And yet, I could not tear my eyes away. My heart hammered so loudly I expected it to burst. Finally, mercifully, the shape dissolved into nothingness and I sank back against my headboard, gasping for air. A weight lifted, and I thanked God the curtains remained closed, for I was certain that if I looked, I would lose my wits. With trembling legs, I stumbled from the room and down the dim hallway toward the bathroom, offering myself the flimsy excuse of a restroom break. Over the next week, I questioned my own sanity. I replayed the scene countless times. A trick of the light? My imagination running wild after 40 pages of gore? Even as I tried to reason it away, a persistent unease clung to me. I called the previous owners, who assured me there were no evil spirits in the home. I wanted to believe them, but I wondered if they would admit the truth to a stranger. If they'd been the house's first occupants, and all had gone well, would they really warn the next? Desperate for reassurance, I brought home 2 small dogs, Bingo, a jittery terrier mix, and Ringo, a calm beagle. Their soft fur and warm bodies offered a fragile comfort. I imagined that any unseen presence might think twice before confronting a pack of barking canines. They curled at the foot of my bed that first night, paws twitching in sleep, and I pretended their peaceful breaths dissolved the lingering dread. A month passed before the next incident, a sequence so chilling I would relive it in nightmares for weeks. I was settled into my recliner in the living room, engrossed in a history of the Crusades, when I heard it, a tap, tap, tap. At first, I thought it was Bingo nudging a toy toward the fireplace, so I cried out, "Get out of there," and glanced up. The territorial terrier scampered away and I returned to my book. The tapping resumed, but this time it sounded distant, like fingers rapping on a wooden door frame, followed by a hollow knock on the tiled floor, then door again. I froze. "Ringo?" I called, voice hoarse. Silence. My pulse spiked when a heavy boot step crossed the kitchen floor toward me, measured and unhurried. I leapt from the chair, eyes darting for something, anything, to defend myself. On the table lay a small baseball bat I'd bought for backyard games. I snatched it, knuckles white around the handle, heart racing so fiercely I could taste blood in my mouth. The footsteps drew nearer, slow and deliberate. I raised the bat, knuckles trembling, and squared my shoulders, determined to confront whoever, or whatever, was stalking me. My mind spun. What if it's a burglar with a gun? Better to swing and hope. The steps reached the threshold of the living room, then stopped. I stood, every nerve ablaze, gripping the bat like a talisman. Time stretched. I could hear my own ragged breathing. Then, disgustingly anticlimactic, a soft pant to my left. Ringo ambled into view, tail wagging, clueless as ever. The taut tension shattered. I lowered the bat, cheeks burning with relief and shame. You little devil," I whispered, stroking his ears. But the reprieve lasted only moments. I forced myself to check the laundry room, the back door, locked, empty. Even the cramped half-bath held no intruder. Just as I closed the bathroom door, more footsteps, this time heading toward the hall. I bolted it shut, huddling behind the flimsy wood, grasping the bat in sweaty hands, as the steps paused on the other side, heavy and inexorable. My mind screamed, "I'm going mad." I'm living a lunatic's dream. And yet, I wasn't alone. The knocks resumed, floor, door, floor, ratcheting up my terror until I somehow fell into a fitful sleep, bat clutched like a security blanket. Daylight brought no comfort. Every creak in my cubicle office stole my focus. I weighed my options: break my lease and bleed money, hire a priest for a blessing, call in a psychic team, or swallow my pride and tough it out. By week's end, the taps and steps had become a monthly ritual, each encounter scarier than the last, yet gradually less shocking, as if my psyche was numbing itself to the horror. Strangely, I found a perverse fascination in the routine. My life, once dull and predictable, now pulsed with unpredictable dread. I grew attentive to every sound: the hum of the refrigerator, the whisper of HVAC vents, the soft rustle of the dog's bedding. When the footsteps came, I no longer flinched. I rose, bat in hand, and watched the corridor, every muscle poised. Occasionally, the shadow by the window would return, no longer a dragon but a fluid dance of shapes: beast, hand, obscene geometries, until it slipped away. My dogs, initially spooked, became blasé to the haunting. Bingo would yawn mid-knock. Ringo would stretch in the hallway as if he owned the place. Evenings found me in that same armchair, remote control nearby, TV blaring, one eye on the screen, the other scanning for movement. I'd grown into the house's rhythms, a reluctant partner in a nightly ballet of terror. I never did open the curtains to see what lay beyond. Some secrets, I decided, are safer kept in shadow. And while I still wonder whether I'll lose my mind someday, I can't deny the excitement that hums through my veins whenever the lights flicker or the taps begin. After all, how many people get to live inside their favorite horror story? Under this roof, ghosts, dragons, and all, I found one.